Hello and welcome to Doing Life Together, episode 56. It is Sonia Eckel, your host, and I'm excited to be here with you. All right, so tonight I want to springboard off of last week's episode 55. And I shared with you that I had been feeling a little bit more overwhelmed than is typically my norm, and feeling just a little tapped out and things like that. So I wanted to talk more about that because after coming through these past couple weeks like this, I just have decided that I can't be alone in this. Like I can't be the only one facing this. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory and let's jump in. Okay. So you guys know me. If you've been following me, you know a few things about me. You know that I am a glass all the way full girl. Like I guess maybe 3/4 full, because I don't put my head in the sand. I'm fully aware of things that aren't good, aren't working, but I really choose to live in joy and gratitude. And I've just learned that is where I like to live, right? Even though there's definitely tough stuff, that's where I like to live. You would also know about me that I love Norwex and I love helping people detox their home, detox their personal care, and really move along on their wellness journey so that they can experience abundant health and freedom in health and joy and enthusiasm. Because really what I'm going to talk about tonight is how our physiology is linked to how we feel and how we show up in today's world. Okay. So I love what I do. I love coaching people and helping them crack the code to opening up meaningful income for them and next level income. I love helping people find their gaps and filling those so that they can get where they're going quicker. You also know I love being mom. Like this is a dream come true to me. 4 amazing sons who are growing up, and it's amazing. And you know that I feel very blessed to be married to Willie. Now we're coming up on 24 years next month, almost a quarter of a century. And man, God knew it was going to take a pretty great man to put up with me for 24 years, right? And hopefully many more. So what I'm saying is when I look at my life, I am beyond grateful. I'm so super duper grateful. And I really think that work is a blessing because when we can't work, that's like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be where I can't work. I think it's a blessing to be able to work. And so in these past few weeks, and I don't even know exactly when it started, and it started gradually. And I should have seen some signs that, hey, this isn't totally normal. But I just began not wanting to work. Like I still did all the things that I need to do because that's what we do, right? But I had this list of things that I was super excited to get done, that I was very committed to. And yet it was like I was sort of paralyzed, tapped out, a bit frozen, where I just didn't want to. And what should have been a red flag to me is that's not typically where I live because I actually love what I do. So typically knocking it out and completion, getting it done, done is better than perfect. Like I really try to live out the things that I teach when I coach others. So it should have been a bit of a flag for me. And yet I just kind of pressed onward. And then this past week or so, I kind of hit the proverbial wall. And I was just saying things that are out of character for me. Like, I'm done. Okay. Just sell the ranch. I don't know, just like it was not my norm. And I began to look at it from a spiritual standpoint, praying about it, obviously saying, okay, this isn't normal. And I was like, is this what people call burnout? What is this? And then Willie obviously notices that that's not really completely in character for me. And so he starts asking all the analytical questions. And so he's like, hey, have you been taking your iron? Have you been taking your adrenal support? Have you been getting in good nutrition? Have you been eating a couple steaks a week? Like, what are you doing? And I had to admit that I wasn't doing a lot of those things. Now, let me give you a little background. So a few years ago, I was tired. I was really tired, physically tired, like taking a nap every day, tired, sleeping more than usual. And I like my sleep anyway. Like I'm a pretty solid 9 hours per night girl, if at all possible. That's my favorite. And I think sleep is super important. So I've learned how to not demonize myself, or whatever you would call it, about needing more sleep. But I was more tired than usual. And I decided to get my blood work done. I just thought it would be good. I hadn't done it for a while. And after having those tests done by our natural-ish doctor, the labs came back and we found out that my progesterone had kind of tanked. My iron stores were like bottom floor low, and my thyroid was not happy. And so obviously when you put those things together, you're going to be more tired, right? And it took me a bit to put pieces together. Okay, what got me here? And I think that this time I've caught it a lot sooner, but really a lot of the same things got me there as 3 years later when I just like, I feel good. I don't need all those supplements. And I started to forget what I know. Now, you guys know I'm kind of obsessed with wellness. I teach people wellness. And so I know better than these things. But even for those of us who know better, it's still so easy to go, oh, I'm good, and fall off the things we know or forget to do them for a period. So 3-ish years ago, I don't always remember exact dates, began my journey of getting me back to normal and normal levels and everything. And in the process, somebody referred me to a natural doctor, like he does no pharmaceuticals whatsoever in our area. And I went to see him and he did like an iris scan and he tested, did some muscle testing. And what else did he do? Oh, he did the iodine test on my skin. Anyway, came out, found out I was extremely deficient in iodine, like really low on iodine. And of course, I knew from my blood work that my iron had been low. And he found out that my adrenals were kind of tapped out. They were, and then of course, so he gave me natural supplements to support me in those things. And I took them religiously. I was so good. I had like this line of standard processed supplements because that's what he uses. And I religiously followed his formula. And it took some time because that was a natural approach, not a pharmaceutical, not, a thyroid medication. I wasn't on any hormone replacement, anything like that. But naturally, I was able to restore myself back to feeling amazing. And he tests me. He's like, you're good. I mean, you don't really need to come see me. Just keep taking the stuff. And that's where it went off the tracks is eventually I was like, oh, I need to go pick up more standard process. And then I just kind of stopped taking it instead of going and refilling all of those things. And I also learned when I was on the carnivore diet, I discovered ribeye steaks. To be honest, I had had very few ribeyes in my life, probably prior to that. And I discovered that beef is actually quite amazing at the nutritional punch it gives you, like remarkable. And I did really well on that. And so then after I came off carnivore, after 8 months of strict carnivore, I kind of came off. You guys, if you follow the previous episodes, I have words for any carnivores who decide not to be carnivore anymore. How to transition off is super duper important. So that's a different episode. But I still found that I still like to keep some steak in my diet because my body seems to respond well to it. And then if you have requested my top favorite supplement list, which I put out a while back, I think if you go to the detoxgirl.com, so THE, the detoxgirl.com, you'll find some of those like free resources and gifts from me. And I believe the supplement list is there. Please message me if it's not, but I was thinking I put it there. You'll find at the top of that list this green supplement, like green drink type of supplement, and it's in tablets on the list. And Willie discovered this well over a decade ago, this product and other products from the same company. And their quality control is excellent. Their where they source their real food from is amazing. And I was taking those because Willie's a huge believer in it, and Willie's my husband, for those of you who are new. And so I was taking the green pills, but they're pretty hefty pills, and I don't usually have a problem taking pills, but these in particular kind of get stuck in my throat. So I found like, oh, I just don't want to take them. I don't like that feeling, you know? And so I just kind of stopped taking them. And that was one of Willie's questions when I was feeling this way. He's like, are you still doing the green pills or not? I was like, you know? And so I dropped off my natural adrenal support. I had dropped off the green pills. I had dropped off I cut way back on the iodine that I was supposed to take every day. I was very sporadic in taking iron. Anyway, and I wasn't eating steak, getting my iron from, that's a pretty good iron source. So suffice to say that physiologically, my body was not as well provided for nutritionally as it sometimes is. Now, if I go back to the 3-ish years ago, what tipped the first domino in hindsight was stress. Okay. So, when you fill your plate super full and you kick off a lot of cortisol, if you have super good nutritional support, I am of the belief that you can tolerate more stress. But again, back then, I wasn't eating like super nutritionally packed food. I wasn't taking the famous green pills. I was just not doing some of the stuff that even though I knew it was good, I wasn't doing it. And then you add stress and all of a sudden the dominoes fell. And so what we know about stress is the cortisol response. And as I get closer to the menopausal years, I'm not there, but I have a lot of friends who are peri and pre, and I don't know what all the words are, but they're in that season. It does seem that cortisol levels at this age group is a bigger deal than probably when you're young. Although even for young people, I think cortisol levels are probably higher just because of the lifestyle we live. It's not as simple of a life as even the life that many of us were raised living when we were young. And so cortisol, what about cortisol? Cortisol eats up your progesterone, especially if it's high during your progesterone phase of your menstrual cycle, which you guys know from a previous episode. I read Dr. Mindy's book, Fast Like a Girl, on a friend's recommendation. Blew my mind. Yes, I had learned the menstrual cycle, all of that in my journey to PT. But somehow I didn't connect all the dots that during the progesterone phase, you're not going to want to intermittent fast quite as tight of a window. You're not going to want to, maybe restrict carbs quite as much. You're maybe not going to want to work out quite as hard. You need to let your body make progesterone without consuming it with cortisol. Now, I'm not sure I'm saying this all scientifically correct, but the way my natural doctor said is cortisol kind of eats up your progesterone. Well, then that tipped, of course, a couple dominoes. So low progesterone, from what I've heard and learned, is also associated with some thyroid issues, and it may tend to tip your thyroid. And then, of course, low progesterone also can lead to heavier bleeding. So then that would explain tanking iron stores if you don't pay attention to that, right? So that's the thing about our body is it's all one, and it needs to be looked at holistically. And I'm not even saying that's a holistic view. I'm sure it's much bigger than that. But anyway, so this was reminiscent of back then, and it was just me getting into bad habits again, of slacking off on things that I've learned, things that I know, and just not doing them. And so now I have, just in this past few days, to be honest, I have started doing the green drink instead of the green pills. Willie has told me for years I should try this. I don't really love green drinks, but he's showed me how to mix it with a little orange juice, and I'm just committed. I'm like, I don't want to like go in and have to go the pharmaceutical route when I know my body is able to recover from this without going on a thyroid medicine, even without hopefully needing bioidentical hormones. Now, will that come in the future? My goal is to delay the need for that as long as possible. I'm not opposed to bioidentical hormones. Just in the research I've done, I think they have a place in our, especially in our current world of what our bodies deal with. So I started the green drink, started eating some steak, more beef, got back on my adrenal support, started taking my iodine more faithfully here, just doing the things that I was doing and feeling great, and then just kind of let them go. And I'm going back to them. And already my change in mental state, my change in ability to just get stuff done again, my change in actually wanting to work to some degree. Now, I'm not rushing in massively. I'm like giving my body some time to restore those levels before I just plow forward. I'm just kind of giving a little bit of rejuvenation time. I get to be in Scottsdale, Arizona for all of this week. And that is super excited about that. Get to spend time with my Norwex sisters there. And I'm much looking forward to that. And I think that just taking some rejuvenation time is so necessary. Another thing that's come up in this experience for me is the importance of prioritization. You know a couple things about me. You know that when it comes to God tapping me on the shoulder for anything, I'm always like, I'm a yes, Lord. Like, yes, you show me, I go. Like that's important. However, in the world, there are a gazillion good things to say yes to. Like all of us could be doing good things 24/7, and we would still not even touch all the good things that could have been yeses. But understanding the need to prioritize and say no to the good things in order that we can accomplish and fill our calling and our purpose, the needed things that we're really called to. And so prioritization and giving myself permission to say no. I don't love saying no. I just don't. But I realized in this moment, like, okay, there's some things I have to say no to right now. And another thing is enrolling others for help. I know this about myself. I really don't love asking for help. I really don't. I'm not sure what baggage causes that, but it goes a little deep. And yet I know the power of collaboration. I know the power of inviting others into the process. I know how game-changing it is. In fact, when I coach business owners and entrepreneurs, one of the first things I'm going to teach them is what you need to delegate. Like you cannot possibly do it all. You will burn out. You will experience these things. Now, so just stepping into raising up and creating space for leaders around me to be leaders. And one thing I've learned about myself, and maybe you relate to this, put in the chat if you relate, is that when I'm under stress, sometimes I'm less likely to delegate. I have this weird thing like, oh, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm just going to get this done. I get nothing done because I've committed to doing all the things that really I don't have enough space for. And so then nothing happens because I freeze and I get overcommitted. So learning what to say no to so that we can say yes to the really important things, I think is huge. And nutritionally, I think that's just what I wanted to bring to the table tonight. If you've been feeling really cruddy, now this is Willie's whole belief on all of wellness. Like, you know me, I'm a wellness nut. I'm all about get out, put your feet on the earth, get some sunshine, invest in a high quality red light, like take your good supplements, all the things. And Willie's like, you get good nutrition and your body can handle most anything. I think it's somewhere between, right? Like I agree with him that nutrition, I just add on like all the things because that's, you know, I love the human body and how we're created to thrive, not just survive. And how do you break the code in our modern world where we're swimming in EMFs? We've got food quality that has almost non-existent nutrients, if not negative nutrients. We're hit with pesticides, genetically modified everything. Most people spend most of their time indoors under artificial light, very little time outdoors in the sun, feet on the ground outside. So we're in a little bit of an uphill battle here. And we like it because it does make our life so convenient. Like electronics, hello, they've changed the game, but also they are taking a toll on the human bodies. So how can we best survive and not just survive, but actually thrive in the midst of this chemical soup? Oh, not even to mention the chemicals in our homes, the plug-in things that go in our walls, the sprays that we spray, the stuff we put on our skin. Like we are inundating, many of us are inundating our bodies with a lot of negative things. So how can we better process that? I think Willie's onto something. Like you have to have good nutrition for your body to be able to navigate that and not only survive, but next level, actually thrive. So I invite you all to look at your life. Like, what do you know that works, but maybe you've let it go. You just forgot it worked, or you thought, I feel great. I don't need to do that anymore. I'm good. I'm fixed now. I don't need that. If that's the case, I'm just going to say, are you taking high quality nutrition? Are you getting the critical nutrients that make our body run? Like all the physiological processes that God put in the human body, it's mind-blowing. And it also requires some raw materials for it to function properly, like iodine, for instance. So my doctor, he was just sharing, he said, so many people's thyroid things could actually be redeemed and turned around and reversed and whatever you want to say. I don't know if I can say any of that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That your thyroid can get back to health simply by checking your iodine levels. Work with a healthcare professional for this because you don't want to overdo on it or you're going to start having heart palpitations and feeling all weird. So you want to be smart how you do this. That's one thing he said is I went up slow. Like he didn't just give me a bunch of iodine. Like it was a slow increase. And then I got up to where he wanted me. I took that amount for a while and then it was slow decrease to then what he said should be my daily intake. So that just things like that though, magnesium is such a critical mineral for our body and so many functions. And of course, iron is very important. Now, for most people, their iron is probably fine unless they're losing blood at some level, right? So that may or may not be your challenge. And then understanding the impact of stress and how if you are going to live a stressful life, you're going to need more nutritional support. And if you want to go, as I felt like last week, build a cabin in the middle of the woods on a mountain where, like raise my own food, and I don't think that would be stress-free either. But the idea was just like, okay, I'm just going to go move in the middle of nowhere and do nothing, which is not practical. That's not actually accurate. But my point being is, if you are intentional to lead a super low stress life, that's one way to head off the cortisol and the negative impacts of stress. Not all stress is negative. I do have to say that stress actually also can be positive in our life. Like, it's a happy medium. And where I'm at is, I want to be able to actually thrive under healthy stress. I don't want bad stress in my life. Not going to lie. Don't want it. Don't want it. Don't want it. I don't want illness. I don't want relationship issues. I want my children safe and protected and thriving and all the things. Yes, I don't want what I perceive to be bad stress. But I want to be able to process normal stress, doing business, living life, playing full out. I want to be able to process that beautifully and stay in thriving mode. And what I'm reminded of now, today, again, is yes, my body was made to be able to do all the things. I don't know about all the things, but my calling, but I need to also support it nutritionally. So would love to hear if any of this is resonating with you. If you've ever done that, where you've known something and then you just fell off the wagon and then it kind of caught up with you and you're like, oh my goodness, I used to do that and I forgot. This is your reminder today. Don't wait until it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Make those pivots now. Your body will thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. One thing, just really quick, we're in October right now, and there is a fantastic offer from Norwex where you can open your own consultant account for free. You literally just pay $9 and I think it's 95 cents shipping, and they're going to ship you samples. Anyway, be sure to look at that if you are someone who's maybe looking for another income stream. Norwex, for me and our family and so many consultants that I've helped, it has been a great added income stream that has been rather an answer to prayer, right? And so if you're looking for a product that you're like, okay, I want to get behind something, but I really need to know it works. I need to know it's going to thrive even in recessionary or inflationary times. And Norwex does. I've proven that. I started in the middle of a bit of a recession, and I watched people want Norwex because it was going to save them so much money and kick off a lot of stuff they had to spend money on before, like paper towels and disinfectant wipes and glass cleaner and granite cleaner and floor cleaner and all the things. And so it saved a lot of time. If you're looking for an option and free at favorite price, I just wanted to tell you that there is a special offer in October. Now, if you're working with a consultant, be sure to connect with him or her. You can get their joining link. If you are joining with me as your sponsor and your mentor, you would just go to joinwithsonya.com. That's SONYA. Joinwithsonya.com. And then you can sign up. You can choose the free kit. You could choose the Safe Haven 5 kit, which is awesome. Anyway, we've got some options. And then just let me know if you have questions. I can help you through that as well. But I know October is going to go so super fast, and I just didn't want to miss sharing that in case that is an answer to prayer for you. So go get all the nutrients, find high quality supplements, choose good, nutrition dense food, and let's not just survive. Let's truly thrive so we can walk out the calling that God has on each of our lives. All right. Thanks so much. And we will see you next week. God bless you.